Roxo Media House.
Today's been great. Obviously, I heard a lot of great things about TCU, wanted to experience it. My wife's son is a graduate of TCU, heard wonderful things from him, and it came to life for me today. I mean, every detail on campus is all about the student experience, and just thrilled that I was able to spend a couple hours here today.
From the Flying T Studio at Roxo Media House, this is Frogs Today, featuring Big 12 Commissioner Brett Yormark, along with TCU Athletic Director Jeremiah Donati, TCU golfer and international sensation Fillippo Celli, plus former Frog basketball great Vladimir Brodzianski. And here's your host, the voice of the Frogs, Brian Esteridge.
Welcome into another edition of Frogs Today. This is the big boy where we've got a star-studded lineup for you today. Commissioner Brett Yormark was in town earlier this week. The Big 12 commissioner says he's going to visit all the Big 12 schools. His first stop, well, in Fort Worth, of course, to visit with TCU. He and Athletic Director Jeremiah Donati will join us from the TCU campus here shortly. Vladimir Brodzianski was in town last week. That's right, the former basketball star for the Horned Frogs, now doing well overseas. He'll be by to visit with us. Speaking of overseas, let's take the Zoom, if we could, to Northern Ireland, where Fillippo Celli will join us. Of course, a low round for an amateur at the British Open. Fillippo eyeing the Ryder Cup next year already. We'll talk to him a little bit later on in the show. And our round table of experts, Melissa Treibwasser and Jeff Wilson, will both be alongside. We'll talk some football, some women's basketball. Jeff's going to want to talk baseball. We got a lot we got to get into. What do you say we start the show, though, by heading back over to TCU, where earlier in the week we had an exclusive conversation with the Big 12 Commissioner, Brett Yormark, and Athletic Director Jeremiah Donati. They join us right now. We're all here for Jeremiah's birthday celebration. I thought this was great.
This is a big day.
Big
day for Jeremiah.
It really is. I mean, we show up on the Bloxham Terrace outside of the Legends Club just to say happy birthday. Pretty good.
Well,
huh?
This is exactly what I wanted for my birthday.
Right, exactly.
So,
The dream come true, right?
Come true.
They're honored to have you here, Commissioner.
Thank
I
you.
want to get into a couple of different things. Obviously, top of mind for folks is expansion, and everyone's talking about that. But there are other big issues that the Big 12 is facing. Have you had an opportunity in your first 7 days to start making a list already? Hey, here's some things we have to tackle.
I haven't gotten into great detail on some of those issues just yet. I have been spending quite a bit of time on expansion and what does that look like for the conference. Obviously, as I said during Media Day, it's all about creating value for the conference, and if it makes sense, we're going to pursue it, and if it doesn't, then sometimes the best deal are those that you don't do. But we're heavily involved in conversation, and I think there's a real opportunity for us.
You know, and there's different ways to look at that value. Is it market size? Is it recruiting base? Is it fan bases? How do you narrow that list down that way?
I think it's a combination of everything. It's culture fit, it's brand, it's geography, and we're exploring all different options.
Yeah.
And our consultant that we're working with, in fact, they have 23 different metrics that they look at when you think about expansion and expansion modeling. So we're very engaged, and I think we'll do the right thing for the conference for sure.
And Jeremiah, you've talked about how this league as a group is together as one in doing what is best for the conference.
Oh, absolutely. And first of all, I know I speak on behalf of all of our athletic directors when I say how excited we are that Brett Yormark is our commissioner. And so But no, we're lined up behind Brett, and we're here. It's a strong group that's been held together. It's been a tough couple of years, we know, but the future's bright, and just couldn't be more excited. I know, like I said, I speak for all my fellow colleagues when I say that.
You know, when I hear people describe Brett Yormark, there's a phrase. Now he comes from the music industry a little, but the word that I hear though, Jeremiah, is rock star. That this guy's a rock star.
Yeah,
I do hear that.
Yeah, well, I'm not trying to embarrass him, but you know, he's bold. He's very smart, but he's thoughtful, and the way we're looking at things from a business perspective is exactly what we need right now. So he is a rock star. He comes from Rock Nation, but he is a rock star.
Well, I appreciate that. I'm not a rock star, but I'm here to serve,
Yeah.
obviously, and so excited to be working with the AD community, our presidents and chancellors. You talk about alignment, total alignment at the highest levels. And when you have that kind of alignment, you can do things. And you can be aggressive but thoughtful. You can be bold but humble. And that's the direction we're taking.
When you say aggressive, I wonder, when people say, okay, you hired Brett Yormark, that's a little outside the box when it comes to hiring a commissioner. I wonder if there's a way to think outside the box when it comes to expansion, too. Is there some of that thinking out there that maybe we as traditionalists aren't thinking of?
Well, we're being creative when we think about where do we go next and how do we make it happen. You know, all the pieces are interconnected. So there's a lot of moving parts in this chess game, but I think we have it covered. And again, you know, we'll do what we think is best ultimately for the conference, but there is that chance we do nothing. And right now, this conference is strong. What Bob Bowlesby did last summer, I think, was incredible. The recovery, you know, on the heels of Texas and Oklahoma. We've expanded our geographic footprint. We brought in some great brands. So now whatever we do has to be additive to that.
Yeah, from a television perspective, everyone focuses on that, and that is a key part of expansion. There's some real opportunities creating themselves, aren't there, especially when it comes to streaming and other platforms?
Absolutely. There's a lot of players in the game. I think you need to be with a linear partner, but digital gets you to that younger consumer.
Yeah.
And you have a chance to reach them and connect to them in a different way. But I think in combination, they work really well.
Yeah, and Jeremiah, I know here in this marketplace in Dallas-Fort Worth, with the opportunity to gather more fans, that's important to you, right?
Oh, absolutely. And so the commissioner and I were talking about this. There's a lot of people in the Metroplex, and not all of them went to TCU. Not all of them went to schools in our Big 12 footprint. But we've got the fourth biggest metro area in the country, and so there's a tremendous opportunity there. It's the fastest growing Metroplex in the country, and so we know we've got work to do here. We've made a lot of progress, but there's a huge opportunity there.
I want to leave with this for both of you. A lot of people are talking about the state of college athletics today, the NIL, the transfer portal, the conference realignment, and they're concerned. Put them at ease a little bit about the future of college athletics, and I'll start with you, Commissioner.
Well, I'm the rookie.
Yeah.
But I think there's opportunity in both the portal, NIL, if done correctly. And I think we're going to work with the ADs and hopefully beyond just the AD community and figuring out what is the best way to manage those issues moving forward. But I think they're ultimately all very positive for college athletics, if done the right way.
And TCU fans specifically, Jeremiah?
Well, I would just say that, you know, change is synonymous with college athletics. It's a resilient business. It's changed over the years in so many ways. This is a lot of change coming at us very quickly, but can be good. And so it's going to look a lot different. It already has, but change is good. Change has been a great thing for TCU. And so we just need to lean into it and be open-minded.
Yeah, well, I think folks are excited. I think excited about the opportunities and excited about the future. And I'll be honest with you, I'm excited, as you said, about being aggressive and thinking outside the box. Thanks for making time for us.
Thank you
here.
so much.
I know your time has been limited.
Thrilled to
Thank
be
you.
here.
Well,
Thank you.
and then next year for Jeremiah's birthday, we'll try to top it.
Yes,
somehow.
100%.
Somehow we will. All right.
Mark it down.
Thank you.
Exactly. Jeremiah Donati and Brett Yormark, the commissioner of the Big 12. We got more to come here on Frogs Today after this timeout.
The Flying T Club provides the everyday TCU fan and alum the ability to specifically support TCU student-athletes. Flying T Club offers 3 levels of memberships. The Flying T Club is a nonprofit organization supporting the brand development of TCU student-athletes through a series of unique event-based networking opportunities, which are exclusive to our members. These events provide a great social engagement tool for our members and student-athletes alike. Follow them on Instagram at Flying T Club or online at flyingtclub.com.
Back we come here on Frogs Today, and it is an honor to have our next guest with us here right now. His name is Fillippo Celli, and he is, well, best amateur in the world right now as far as golf is concerned, at least in my book. Fillippo, how you doing, man? Good to see your face.
Hi, how are you? Good. I'm great. Thank you.
You're in Northern Ireland, is that right now?
Yeah, exactly. I will be here for play like a European Tour event. They gave me the invite, so for let me do like some experience on the European Tour, and we'll see.
That's awesome. Now, did you run into Angela Stanford the other day in Northern Ireland?
Yeah, I met her this morning on the first tee.
How about that? How was that?
Yeah, it was so fun because I didn't know her, and I was on the first tee, and after like either the first tee shot, she like walking to me and say, "Are you Filippo? Are you playing for TCU?" I say, "Yes." How do you know TCU? And she said, "I'm Angela Stanford, and I played there like a long time ago." And yeah, so I say, "Oh my God, that's crazy. The world is so small."
It is. She's a great player, too, and a great ambassador for TCU, as are you, man. Congratulations on the finish at St. Andrews, the silver medal, the high amateur. Put that in perspective, what that meant to go through that.
It was unbelievable, the experience and also the atmosphere, because play the British Open, the 150 British Open in the home of golf. It's unbelievable because the atmosphere and all the people's like the last round. There were like probably 290,000 people.
Wow.
On the course, and it was amazing, an unforgettable, I think, experience.
Yeah, you think about what that week was for you, Filippo, because I know did you have a practice round with Rory that week as well, which you talked about being one of a dream come true for you?
I played 9 holes the first round with on Monday with Rory, and on Tuesday other 9 holes with Aaron Varner 3 and Dustin Johnson. So yeah, the practice round was unbelievable. Also, I met Tom Hoagie.
Yeah,
that he was there. Yeah,
another good TCU guy, Tom Hoagie, who's
exactly.
playing. He's playing pretty well right now as well. He's been here in the Flying T Club studios with us before as well. Filippo, give me some sense as to what happens next, because I know for a fact that Rome is hosting the Ryder Cup. Is it next year?
Yeah, next year, 2023.
How would Filippo like to be on that Italian team, that European team in the Ryder Cup?
Really good question, but it's a dream. Of course, it's a dream, but it's not easy. The way is very, very long, and I have to think step by step and play the best golf ever in like this year, and then we'll see. Maybe it will be happen or maybe not, but it's a dream, and I'm not stopped dreaming, and so we will see in the future.
Well, you've been able to accomplish a lot since you picked up the game of the golf. You were kind of late to the game, were you not? You didn't start playing until you were a teenager.
I started playing at when I was 13, actually. Yeah.
And so think of all that you've been able to accomplish in that short time. That's pretty amazing to be able to say, look at me now. I won the amateur. I had the amateur low score at the British Open. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, it's impressive. Yeah, I was thinking about that like last week, because after the British Open, I took 2 weeks off, and in these 2 weeks off, I thought all these things about that in like last semester at TCU. I didn't play really good. I played good, but I didn't perform like I wanted.
Mm-hmm.
But and then when I come back, like in Rome and in Europe for play, it was like amazing in how like the shortest time I won the European Amateur Championship for that like it was for qualifying me for the Open, and then at the Open I was in low amateur, and I made the cut. So I was thinking about that, and yeah, it's crazy and unbelievable.
Yes, it is that. I know you've got some big decisions to make here coming up very soon as it relates to your career. If we don't see you in a TCU uniform again, will we see you at Colonial one day?
Hopefully, yes. I think so. I think so because I love TCU. I really love TCU. I really love my buddies and my teammates. Yeah, and also the coach. I think the coach are really great.
Yeah.
Because Bill, I can say that is like a second dad. Because the first time that I came at TCU, it was 2 years ago. My English it was so bad. Now it's not really good, but it's better. But like at the beginning, it was so bad, and he helped me a lot. Him and also Adrian, and yeah. So I can say it's like Bill is a second dad, and Adrian is like an uncle because.
Yeah, and they're really good guys, really good guys. Filippo, I got to ask you this. Is there one thing about Texas that you fell in love with?
I don't know. Probably the people.
The people?
I love the Texan people. Yeah, because I think they are like so fun. Like with Also, I went to the to Billy Bob's on all the bars here in Fort Worth, and it's very fun to see like all the guy and the girls with the boots and the hat, the cowboy hat. So yeah, it's completely different, but I really like Texas.
Maybe you can open up a Billy Bob's and say maybe in Trastevere, in that neighborhood in Rome. Do that, and I'll come.
Maybe one day, yes.
Filippo, good to see your face, man. Thanks for taking the time to join us here via Zoom in Northern Ireland. Really appreciate it.
Thanks so much.
There he goes, Fillippo Celli, joining us here. We got a lot more to get to on Frogs today, including a visit with Vladimir Brodzianski. He was in town. We'll talk to him next after this timeout.
Say hello to the water of tomorrow. Richard's Rainwater. Richard's Rainwater is 100% rain, refreshing, renewable, and the only ingredient we use in our water. Why rain? Because everyone deserves access to clean water, and rain is a 100% renewable resource available everywhere. Drink the rain. Save the planet. Shop now at richardsrainwater.com.
Our next guest hardly needs an introduction. You'll know the face, you'll know the name, and then, of course, you remember the player. Vladimir Brodzianski joins us right now. Good to see you, man.
Good to see you too, man.
Welcome back into town.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, you know, we the last time we saw you, obviously, was the NCAA run, and finally getting the Frogs back to the NCAA tournament.
Great.
I know that was rewarding for you. The NIT championship the year before.
It was amazing too.
Yeah, I mean, you were instrumental in that. I mean, you think back now on your 3 years here at TCU. When you think about them, how rewarding were those?
It was great. You know, we had a great group of guys, great coaches. I mean, the campus was right here. You know, everybody was supporting us, all the fans. It was amazing 3 years.
And then you get drafted or you don't get drafted. You try out with the Cavaliers.
Yeah, I went with Cavaliers.
You actually did you sign with the Cavs for a little while?
It was just for summer league. You know,
Okay.
I did a little summer league run, and then I went overseas. But it was a great experience. You know, I played for summer league and. Just, you know, you get the NBA logo everywhere. It was amazing.
And then to Spain you go.
Yeah, I
and,
went to Spain.
And you've been in Spain for the last, 3 years or so?
Last 4 years.
Last 4 years
Yeah.
playing. Give us some sense of how that's gone for you, what that career has been like.
I went 2 years to Obradoiro. It's like a smaller team in top Spanish league. Mm-hmm. It was a great experience, you know, first time back overseas after States. So it was a great start for me. And from there I moved to Juventud Badalona, which is like right next to Barcelona. We had 2 great years as well. This year we finished 3rd, right after Barcelona and Madrid. So it was a great experience.
Yeah, Barcelona and Madrid are always seems like at the top, aren't they? 1 and 2.
Yeah, really hard to top them.
That's the highest level of Spanish basketball
Yes,
too,
sir.
right? Yeah. And now you've made a change and you're going to go play in Turkey, right? Am I right about this?
Yeah, I'm gonna move to Turkey this year.
Yeah, and tell us about that because you talked to me off air about
just an opportunity to go see the world a little bit and see
Yeah,
something else.
change a little bit, see different place, different people, different league.
Yeah.
It's still great league, FS won EuroLeague twice in a row in front of Madrid and Barcelona. They got a bunch of great teams, so it's going to be a great experience.
How's your Spanish? Did you master it in 4 years?
I didn't master it. I can understand some, but I wasn't forced too much because everybody speaks English.
Yeah.
And then in Barcelona, everybody speaks Catalan. So that's kind of even, like, it doesn't match. I mean, it's similar Spanish, but
Right.
it's different. So, that kind of throw you off a little bit. But, yeah, I can understand some.
And from when we had Bingo Merricks and a couple other guys that have played overseas have come back and taught us, you guys get taken care of pretty well, right? I mean, they take care of the athletes.
Yeah, they take care of you. They provide you with apartment, with car, health insurance or whatever you need. When you need something, you just call, and they usually get stuff done.
Wow. Have you been able to go home at all?
Yeah, I was home for like 2 weeks after the season ended, and then I fly over here.
Yeah. And here in Fort Worth for a week or so just to see friends and hang out and check
Yeah,
on
friends,
things?
hang out, like see the campus, see
Yeah.
the coaches. It's great to catch up with everybody.
Yeah, and I loved your timing because you purposely waited until after camp was over with, so Thomas didn't put you to work, right?
Yeah, I guess so. I didn't know there was a camp going on, to be honest.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was just the timing. We have a long season, so there wasn't much other time I could come.
You were always fun at camp, though. Guys always loved hanging out with you.
Yeah,
man.
it's a great time with the kids. It's the next generation.
Yep.
You're trying to give forward, and I mean, I think they're doing a really good job here with the kids and camps.
Did you get a chance to follow the Frogs this year in basketball and see the run in the NCAA tournament?
Yeah, for sure. I'm trying to keep up as much as I can. Like look at the results. It's really hard to watch it because of the time difference. When you guys play here, it's already like 3 or 4 in the morning for us.
Right.
Plus, not many streams or platforms to watch it, so it's a little difficult. But I'm trying to keep up with the scores, and like the players. It was also easier when I knew the guys, the guys I play with. So now it's a little different team. So
It's a fun team, though. It's
It
a
is
fun
a great
team to
team,
watch.
yeah.
And
they got a lot of guys coming back, so I
they're
think
gonna be
this year is
really
going to be good.
Yeah, they're gonna be really
Yeah.
good this year. Now, will you get a chance to play with them at all over the next few days, or no?
I'm not sure. I'm still recovering from the injury.
Yeah.
I torn ligament in my
Right.
ankle, so I'm probably not.
don't
But
blame
I
you.
may do some, shooting and stuff around.
Yeah. Tell me when you're overseas, when you're in Spain or when you're in Turkey, do you try to take in the culture? Do you go see things? Do you try to get a feel for everything there?
Yeah, for sure. When family or friends come, we're trying to show them around, like visit some places.
Yeah.
In Barcelona, there was so much stuff to see.
Right.
I'm sure in Istanbul, there's going to be plenty of things to see too. So you go eat to restaurants, like different, like wherever your teammates sometimes take you, especially like the guys who are from there.
Right.
That kind of helps.
Yeah, and so you got to be willing to try new things.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like sometimes you may not like some, but you may not want to say it
Yeah.
right away.
And you may not know what it is.
Yeah, that's the thing
I'm not
too.
sure what this is.
Yeah, they're like, look at the menu, you're like, what is this? And they try to explain you, but you're like, I have no idea what it is, but let's try it. But in overseas, they usually do it like they order a bunch of stuff and everybody like gets some, so
Yeah.
kind of like appetizer sharing.
Yeah.
So it's pretty.
That's the great thing
pretty
about Spain was tapas, right?
Yeah, they got those tapas,
Oh,
like
yeah.
the bunch of little things you can try.
Yeah.
So it's great.
That's fun stuff. So what do you do when you're in the off season or when basketball's not going on? How do you spend your time?
It was a little bit more difficult now with the COVID. Like the
Yeah.
traveling part was, I tried to come here. I will try to come here earlier, but with the COVID, like non-citizen couldn't enter states for 2
Right.
years, so that didn't help. But just a little relax, spend it with the family, which I don't see much, friends, and free time, just as much as I can. And then of course I have to keep workout, stay in shape.
Well, you are always a terrific ambassador for TCU basketball
Yeah.
and a fan favorite. When you look back on your time here in Fort Worth, is there one event? Is there one game? Is there one thing that stood out that always will as a memory for you?
I mean, there was many of them, when we beat Kansas in the Big 12 tournament as the #1 seed. Of course, the NIT championship game. I think it was West Virginia at home when we had, I think it was Big Monday and we won. The fans stormed the court, so there's a lot of good memories.
A lot of good memories, and you were right in the heart of all of those, man.
Yeah.
The resurgence of TCU basketball, you get a lot of credit for that, Vlad. So thank you for coming by,
Thank
man.
you for having me.
Good to see you. That's
Good to see you
Vladimir
too.
Brodziansky joining us here today on Frogs Today. More to come after this timeout.
The Flying T Club provides the everyday TCU fan and alum the ability to specifically support TCU student athletes. Flying T Club offers 3 levels of memberships. The Flying T Club is a nonprofit organization supporting the brand development of TCU student athletes through a series of unique event-based networking opportunities, which are exclusive to our members. These events provide a great social engagement tool for our members and student athletes alike. Follow them on Instagram at Flying T Club or online at flyingtclub.com.
Welcome back into Frogs Today. It's our favorite part of the show every week. It's our round table of experts at the square table. Jeff Wilson is alongside in studio. Thank you, brother, for being here. Joining us via Zoom, of course, is our friend Melissa Tribe-Wasser. Got a new background, too. That is California redwood, folks, in case you were wondering. That is not to be confused with that stuff down in Waco called shiplap. No, this is California redwood. So just so you know, Melissa, good to see you. Thanks for hopping on with us.
Great to be here.
All right, let's
I'm at a half a round table. So
that's right. You're at a half a round table. Okay, it's a half moon table. I like it. Yeah. All right, let's dive into a couple of different things. Let's start with football.
All right.
And let's start with Sam Jackson. You talked about him earlier in the week. I want to get Melissa's take on it. They've created this new package for him. They let him talk to the media now. You want to read anything into this? I mean, it's still a 2-man race for the starting job, right?
It is, and I think that it's just a way to get a guy who's a really, really good athlete and can do a lot of things onto the field. I don't think it's going to be a regular thing, because you can only surprise the opponent so many times, He said that, the offense and defense talk about what they're going to do each day, and they mentioned this 2-quarterback package, and I guess the defense thought the play was going to be a halfback pass or whatever, that Jackson was going to pass it, but he didn't. He took a pitch and ran for a first down, and then next play he caught a little pass and gained some yards too. So he's tremendously athletic, and maybe they're throwing him a bone, and it does look like the pecking order is going to be set at quarterback. He looks like he's third, but if you want to keep a guy happy, in the day of the portal, you got to recruit your own guys too. But if you're getting him on the field and if he feels like he's part of something, then maybe that helps too.
Yeah, it kind of goes back to, Melissa, what Sonny Dykes has talked about. Chess pieces, moving parts. People have to play different positions. The wide receivers got to play inside and out. All 5 guys along the offensive line have to be able to snap because you never know when you might be able to play center. This is just another case of really good players, got a skill set that can hurt teams. Got to get them on the field somehow, huh?
Yeah, I mean, I think that you want to see your best players get the ball in their hands no matter how they do it. When you have someone as athletic as Sam Jackson and that can also, as Coach Bowden said earlier this week, if you guys are following Frogs Today, you know that he can sling it. This is a kid that can really throw the ball too. So it just makes the defense have to think. You see a guy like that on, you don't know, is it going to be a fake pass? Is it going to be a trick play? Is he going to run? Is he going to catch? The fact that he can add all 3 of those things to the field, yeah, you want to get him on. And I agree with Jeff. You also want to keep a really talented player invested and involved in the program so that you don't lose him to the portal when you're going to have Max Duggan graduate a year from now.
Boy, I didn't think about that. That does come into play, don't you? You got to keep recruiting guys constantly while they're here. All right, Melissa, while I got you, I want to talk about your favorite position on the football field, and that's offensive line. A group that continues to work to build depth. We saw Steve Avila, I guess that was on Tuesday, get vocal after practice, guy who's really emerging as a leader.
It's amazing to watch what Steve has done. And he's always been a guy that you knew was going to take media availabilities. It was going to be someone that represented the program because of just the character that he has. And, obviously we're getting him on a podcast and getting to hear more from him. I mean, he is the kind of person that you need on the offensive line, that you need in your team, period, to be the leader, to be the vocal guy. And I love seeing him take more ownership of that and more responsibility too. You've got a lot of guys that have been around the program for a long time, but the offensive line has arguably been one of the weakest spots of this football team the last couple of years. And so to see him take ownership of that and to work alongside some of these other veterans, as well as some of these young guys that are stepping into big time roles, absolutely love to see it. I think it's a great sign going forward this season.
Yeah, Steve Avila, part of that My Turn podcast that you can hear here from Frogs Today in Roxo Media House. You had some time with A.J. Ricker on Tuesday in the media room. Give us some insight. What do you have to say?
Well, he actually, when you talk about Steve being vocal, it's because Frogs didn't have a very good practice.
Right.
A.J. called it their worst practice of camp so far. It's just one of those days, and they had to do some up downs afterwards that and I'm glad I wasn't doing. But it's interesting. What Melissa said. You could argue that this unit wasn't very good the last couple of years. They're the unit that's been talked about as performing the best. And maybe it's because they're exceeding expectations that were set based off the last 2 seasons. But there are some veteran guys, and it's not, you can say, oh well, there's veterans, okay, great, but I mean it's guys who've played and guys who know what to do and can lead, and so I think it's just kind of come together, and Coach Ricker seems like a pretty intense dude, my kind of guy. I like him. I think he probably throws around some 4-letter words, which is great, but he pays attention to the details and he just wants effort. He's not trying to. These guys are talented, but it needs to be the effort that comes out. Because if the effort comes out, then their talent will too.
Dadgummit is not a 4-letter word, Jeff Wilson.
Right.
Melissa, I want to get into women's basketball with you in a second. While I got Jeff, though, because I got a whole list of stuff we got to get through. Baseball, real fast. That Globe Life tournament was announced. Looks like a pretty good field that the Frogs will be part of.
College baseball showdown next February.
Okay.
It's Oklahoma, Texas, TCU. They won't play each other because they're in the same conference.
Right.
But they will play Vanderbilt, you might have heard of,
yeah.
Missouri and Arkansas. So I mean, those are two really good teams, and Missouri's not bad. So that'll be good, a good test, a good way to start off your season.
Matt Carpenter.
Yeah.
What happened there? Broken foot?
He fouled the ball off his foot in Seattle. Broke his foot. He's going to miss some time. Boy, what a great story.
I know.
The Rangers screwed up and released him.
I'm glad you said that.
Thank you. And all he's done for one of the best teams in baseball is 15 home runs and 128 at bats.
Isn't that amazing?
It really is. He's gonna, he's hitting over 300 right now. He said, there's time. These little foot injuries though take a while.
I know.
Ozzie Albies from the Braves still hasn't come back. Chris Taylor from the Dodgers had one that cost him a couple months. And if you look at the calendar, playoffs though. That could be a pretty handy piece if he's able to go.
That'd be a great story if he could and continue to be hot at the plate.
Right.
All right, women's basketball, real quick, Melissa. I know Coach Reagan Peebly got a big-time commit this week. Local product, too, right?
Yeah, Victoria Flores, 4-star, top 100 player coming out of Duncanville, where she played this last year after spending the first couple of years over at Dallas at Pinkston High School. This is the kind of player, they had a lot of turnover this last year. They lost a lot. They lost a lot of high school kids that they had recruited and developed from high school. Getting somebody like Flores to come into that program, like you said, a local product, a highly regarded kid, had a ton of offers. It's a great sign for Reagan Peebly and just the program going forward. Super excited about this player. If you like Lauren Hurd, I think Victoria Flores has channeled a little bit of Lauren Hurd in her game. She's going to be dynamic. She's a scorer, 15 points, all state level player, all area level player. She's the kind of kid that can get this program on the right track and bring them back to where they were before COVID shut down that 2020 team that was so special.
We mentioned Brett Yormark was in town earlier in the week. Melissa, you're in California right now. Hey, any talk out there about Pac-12, Big 12 grouping up? What are they saying?
It's really funny to listen to how the Pac-12 has responded to all of this. I think that we saw George Kliakoff, make his comments of, stop kind of coming for my people. And I think that there is a lot of trepidation. They're talking, saying all the right things. They're coming across super confident, but at the end of the day, there's so much unknown. And that first TV deal was such a low ball offer compared to what I think the Pac-12 thought they would get. That there's some concerns out here. I'll be really interested now that we've seen this week that the Big Ten is not inviting ESPN to their broadcasting party. Is ESPN going to get different and up the level of contract for the Pac-12? Or are they going to sit and wait until the Big 12 has a chance to renegotiate and kind of dive in for that kind of money? Does that look more attractive to them long term? So I think that every week something else happens and it just raises more questions than answers. I would still say that the Pac-12 feels like it's in more of a precarious position right now, but it's a sliding scale and that could change tomorrow.
Yeah, I get the sense that we're kind of in that sort of calm period before the tornado. That it might be happening sooner than later.
Well, I did some research and if you call Googling research,
right.
Read some stories and it's like 5 different things are going on.
I know.
It's like now the Big Ten doesn't want Oregon, and,
Right.
and Washington and Stanford, and Notre Dame's going to stay independent, and Minnesota to the Big 12, and that which doesn't make sense. But there's just too much out there, and you're right. I'm sure that now that Yormark is officially on the job, it's been a little more than a week. I'm sure he did a lot of diligence beforehand, and I'm sure that when he makes these campus tours like he did with TCU, that he has answers to their questions.
I'll give you some scoop. You want some conference scoop? Melissa, you want some conference scoop? I'll give you some right now. You
Love
ready?
it. Absolutely.
UConn and UMass will become football-only members of Conference USA.
So what?
Just mark it down. I'm just telling you, it's going to happen. Soccer cranks up this coming week. Wisconsin's in town. Eric Bell's number 7 team. Then the following week, volleyball, right?
Yeah.
With Wisconsin in town.
Yeah,
But that'll be
national
Wisconsin's
champions.
volleyball team, not their soccer team, right?
Unfortunately.
Yeah, playing volleyball.
Yeah.
I got it. All right. So those two are cranking up. So we'll have all that for you and details on that. Melissa, always good to see your face. Thanks for joining us here.
Great to be here.
All right, Jeff. Thank you, brother.
Yep.
All right, that's it for the roundtable of experts. Joining us this week on the Frogs today. By the way, don't forget to catch that daily show. We're live every day after practice from the Morris practice fields. We want you to join us. It's brought to us by our friends at Dave's Hot Chicken. You'll catch that every day. On the frogstoday.com website right now, of course, is our brand new exclusive look into Dennis Franchione and his era here at TCU. Make sure you sign up today to frogstoday.com so you can see that. Only members are allowed to check out this documentary on Dennis Franchione. Rangers Today is coming up with Jeff Wilson this week. Lots going on. You got to be with us. Be members. Sign up also and subscribe at YouTube to our page as well. Thanks for joining us this week. Until next week for another edition of Frogs Today. Have yourself a great week.
Frogs Today is brought to you by the Flying Tea Club, supporting TCU student athletes, and by Richard's Rainwater. Say hello to the water of tomorrow. Frogs Today is a production of Roxo Media House. Roxo Media House.